Activist investors, they were nowhere really to be seen in Europe, 2-3 years ago. What's changed?
A few things. One, if you look at the shareholder registries of European companies, a lot of them are now US investors. So they are more used to this kind of stuff. And Europe, if you look at the way that the stocks have been performing, they're kind of lagging their US peers. You have a lot of the conglomerate structures here, which you've kind of gotten rid of in the US, right? The big names like GE, kind of the split, selling off a lot of assets. You hadn't seen that so much in Europe. And I think success begets success. So some of these activists started coming in, say, 2-3 years back and had a few high-profile successes. Elliot, you spoke about this year, Telecom Italia was probably their biggest and most successful, right? I mean, they got the CEO out, they got a seat on the board, and now Telefonica is looking at that and thinking, well, are we next? There was all this speculation that Elliot might have taken a stake there. They said they've not. But it's a very indebted company. And if you're an indebted company, if investors are unhappy, if you have a clunky conglomerate structure that doesn't make as much sense, you as a CEO know that the activists are probably running the ruler over you.
I mean, there's Nestle, there's Barclays. Is there a particular type of company, because it's in a certain sector, that actually gets targeted?
They seem to like all kinds of sectors. So whether that's consumer, telecom, banks. But the thing that they are looking at is for a lot of these really big funds that have the noise and that have the backing, a small company doesn't make that much sense for them, right? It doesn't move the needle as much. So they are fine to go after the giants. They're fine to go after the Pernods or the Nestles of the world because they feel like they can make a difference there. And even Unilever, for instance, not that they had an activist investor, but you saw them not go ahead with their plan for the dual, to scrap the dual headquarters because activists spoke up. And I think even regular activists are looking at what the regular investors are looking at what the activist investors are doing and are saying maybe it's time to be more vocal and not just do everything behind closed doors in very nice, polite Europe.
Polite Europe, I like that. Look at that. Thanos is always very polite. Be less polite. Would you actually invest in a company because there's a shareholder activist that actually gets you better returns, or is that dangerous?
Well, my area of expertise is not within this sector, so I would not have the experience to take that position on. But what we are seeing is sort of more disturbance, for example, in the biotech industry. They are bringing outsiders in to deal with the administrative areas, sort of cut costs, but bring in areas of expertise which they did not have from within. So these are interesting areas where activists would really able to add some fresh views, fresh perspectives, and know-how from other industries.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you talk about biotech. In general, what industries will go through more M&A in 2019? Is it difficult to say right now?
Tech is one that while other industries saw a bit of a slowdown, tech was up like 80%. And I think that is a trend that you're going to continue seeing as it disrupts industries, right? Whether that's retail or autos or any of these sectors, you're going to see companies doing more M&A. We may not see as many mega deals because of regulatory and antitrust concerns. I mean, getting approvals is harder, but it seems like the number of deals could still be pretty big.